How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Investing with Zeke. So I did a Palantir video. They took it down. I guess you just can't use material like that without cutting in and interrupting a little bit more, maybe speeding it up a little bit. You know, it's a learning process. I'm not very good with this tech stuff. I just invest in it, right? However, you know, Palantir, is it getting to that price where it's time to actually add more to it? Now, Palantir has been doing insanely good things. We're actually going to still do reviews on it. I don't care what they say. They can say whatever they want. I'm not going to stop talking about Palantir and showing what amazing things Alex Karp is doing. I've been doing this actually for quite some time, and this is the first time that they're actually, you know, he's a star now. Like, Alex Karp is literally a star now. So I got to be careful when I do it, but we'll cut in and out, and I'll also talk about the video. Pretty much what he was talking about on my last video was how if you had Palantir as your operating system, pretty much your company could be a pack and play. If you needed to move it from China immediately, they could do that. Even if it was done in a different language because of their AI model and their systems, their engineering, they can replicate what's done there, Asia, anywhere in the world, Ukraine. They can move companies all over the place. On top of that, they can be used in the medical field. I mean, he was just laying out straight craziness. And that's what they've been doing with AIP. I mean, they've been growing insane, and we will have earnings, so we'll get to see if, you know, the outlook is looking even better and better. People are saying this is the next NVIDIA because Palantir's been AI before AI's been AI. Like, this company came in AI. So yes, NVIDIA has the chips, but Palantir knows how to use them. Now, you're sitting at a $50 billion market cap, so people are saying, you know, you're paying a little much for it, right? But, you know, if you're buying a Louis Vuitton, you're getting the quality. And that's what you're getting out of Palantir. Look at Tesla. Like, look at what Tesla's getting traded at, a $500 billion market cap. And you could almost make an argument that Mazda sells more cars than they do. Okay. Yeah, good luck finding the numbers. You actually are going to have to... I'm looking for the numbers because he does a really good job of hiding his numbers, doing like the all-time sales instead of giving us precise numbers, Elon. I know what you're doing over there, but we're not talking about that. But you got companies also like Snowflake. Now, notice when Snowflake started going down, Palantir started going up. And you want to know why that is because right now, Palantir is eating Snowflake's lunch. That's exactly what's happening. And Snowflake's still $1 billion more overvalued more than Palantir. I mean, it is overvalued. I mean, it is an expensive company, but look at who you have. Peter Thiel, Alex Karp. You got to pay for that kind of management. I mean, Peter Thiel really isn't in the management, but he's in this company as well, you know, so that's pretty good. What I like to compare this company to really is Lockheed Martin. That's where this company's heading. Why is it heading that way? We just got a big deal with Titan. Let's listen to what's been said. I don't know if you guys heard this yet, but like I said, I might have to adjust the speed a little bit and cut in. It's a short video. This is the contract win that they got from Titan.
Welcome back to Overtime. Palantir having its best day in a month on news that it will become prime contractor for the U.S. Army's Titan program to build an AI-enabled vehicle. Initial contract, $178 million for the first 10 prototypes. This is a high-profile win for Palantir, which the military picked over an industry stalwart, RTX. Marks the first time a software company becomes prime contractor of a big hardware program. You can see shares end of the day up about 10%. Well, Palantir's Chief Technology Officer, Shyam Sankar, joins us now exclusively to discuss. Shyam, it's great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Morgan. Great to be back with you.
All right, so this is significant. It's meaningful for the company, as I just mentioned, this milestone of being a software company that is now prime contractor for a high-profile hardware program. What does this enable for Palantir, and how does it speak to the role that software, and particularly AI, is increasingly playing in military applications?
We've been talking for a while about how software is eating the world. I think this is a manifestation of just that here. We have a vehicle that you wouldn't traditionally associate with a software company, but we are delivering an AI-defined vehicle that's going to provide deep sensing to enable long-range precision fires. And really, this vehicle was built around the soldier to enable their workflows. And it's another manifestation of how AI is changing the face of warfare.
So Bank of America today writes a note. They say, we see the win as cementing Palantir as an AI prime in the world of defense and anticipate further penetration opportunities. I wonder what this means in terms of possible future competitions from a prime perspective, but also perhaps just as importantly, given the role your technology is playing and the fact that it is now being tested and sort of seen as a gold standard, at least based on my own reporting among many senior DoD officials, as a supplier too.
Yeah, I think this is big for really two reasons. We talk about the F-35 as a flying computer. We talk about Tesla having disrupted automotive by building a software-defined vehicle. It sets a very clear path where software is the most important weapon system. It is how we deliver outsized lethality on the battlefield. And it paves a way, and this is really the second point, for the broader defense tech ecosystem. We think about the capital that's been employed here, the amount of innovations and founders that are bringing new capabilities to bear. It really shows that the department is very serious about enabling new entrants to deliver entirely new capabilities to transform the battle space.
Yeah. The defense business, or I should say the government business, is still the largest for Palantir by revenue, but we know looking at last quarter's earnings that U.S. commercial business is just surging in terms of growth right now. Tomorrow you've got AIP Con. This is your artificial intelligence platform con, and it says in a Palantir tweet that after nearly 850 boot camps that your customers are going to show some of what they've built with AIP. The last time you and I spoke on this show, you were talking about those boot camps and how aggressively potential customers have been utilizing them. What are you seeing now? What can you preview for us ahead of this event tomorrow?
Yeah, we have over 200 customers here. I'm here in Palo Alto for the conference. We're going to have some great keynotes that'll be live streamed, customers showing what they actually built in the bootcamp, how they're using this capability. We'll preview some of the latest and greatest capabilities in the platform itself. But we couldn't be more excited. Everything is accelerating around this experiential experience. You come to this bootcamp, we're not talking about 8 weeks, we're talking about 8 hours, where you're going to leave with a production-ready use case that can start transforming your business. And that duality of having been inspired about the art of what's possible with AI and having delivered a use case in 8 hours, it's really fueling the growth. And you see that with the 70% growth in our U.S. commercial business in Q4.
Yeah, now that's all I really trust playing this before, they want to flag me or some sort of weird stuff, which I don't even care. But, I mean, that is why I actually put it on that same level with Lockheed Martin. I mean, and the reason why I actually value it more than Lockheed Martin is because they're in the medical field, they're in commercial, way more than Lockheed Martin is. I know Lockheed Martin makes more money, but, I do see that we will get to that $100 billion market cap pretty easy. And they don't even have an Alex Karp. Now, we also just did a partnership with Oracle. And that's pretty amazing too. Another big tech company. It kind of faded away. But now we're going to probably see it come back. So let's hear on the deal that we just got with Oracle.
And Palantir finally become a bit of a next-gen favorite, and it's certainly been the favorite for many bullish investors in the name, as it's had tremendous performance over the last few months. Jenny, so far of the last 3 months, up 42%. 12-month performance, 176%. It's really been strong, but the nice thing is, if you still believe in it, it's 11% down over the last month, so it's volatile too.
It always is, it feels like. I feel like there's never a day when we don't talk about Palantir where the volume doesn't stand out to me. I mean, like, this name trades and it moves all over the place. And actually, ironically, it's not making that big of a move today. We are up about almost 2% here, so definitely seeing some upside. But the company did unveil this deal to provide its software through Oracle's cloud platform, and the pairing of the two companies is making this really, I'd say, more sort of tackling the growing appetite for AI software in large businesses. Oracle has, of course, seen growth in recent quarters for its Oracle Cloud Infrastructure arm, which appears to be taking some market share from some of the 3 largest U.S. cloud providers, those being Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet. But Palantir last year launched AIP, that stands for Artificial Intelligence, its platform, and that was the company's real entry into the market for AI enterprise software. The companies did say in this announcement that they'll be moving some workloads running Foundry, as well as the company's software platform for corporate data analysis, and utilizing Oracle's cloud for the first time. But Palantir will also be making its Gotham software, which is specifically for government solutions and its AI software deployable on the Oracle Cloud. And that is actually what I think is the most interesting case about all things Palantir, is its overall presence with the government, because that's resilient. I know that also can have its headwinds and tailwinds, but Alex, what I think is interesting is its bulk of its revenue now actually comes from government contracts. It makes up about 56% of their total sales. So their CEO said, we are only in the very, very beginning of using AI for our country's security and military. And that's a way I've never really heard AI utilized before.
Yeah, I've always said that I thought this was one of the companies that's actually monetizing this technology already. That being said, when you look at it, there's only so many government contracts they can get. Now that might be very sticky, stable, strong relationships, deep pockets, consistent. But to really grow, you're going to need some of these private companies to start being customers too.
That's what we're
with
doing.
One of the biggest companies in the world, with Oracle being a big name that they're now associated with. This has to be seen as good news. I know it's kind of a modest upside move for the stock. And you mentioned the volume. I just wanted to say over 400 million shares traded this last earnings announcement. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the more actively traded names of all names.
And I would say it's fair to say, based on just the price activity, that Palantir is the more the beneficiary of this deal, because Oracle shares are pretty much unchanged. I know we got a nice move to the upside after their most recent earnings, but they're so big that it's like they have partnerships with everyone at this point, especially NVIDIA is one of their most notable partnerships I think the street has been paying attention to.
That's right. I mean, that's why, I mean, is it really that expensive? I mean, like I said, Lockheed Martin, $109 billion market cap, and they don't even have the commercial reach. I mean, they're probably in the medical field at some sort of capacity. But why can't Palantir be $150, $200 billion market cap? Honestly, today, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Now, and then when you hear your CEO speak like this, listen to this.
Palantir's plan for AI was, quote, just take the whole market. How's that going?
Well, unlike most people, we've been involved in what people call AI for the last 5, 6, 7 years in the classified environment, building systems that will allow you to identify adversarial positions. And in that context, we've built proprietary technology that will allow you to work with large language models, securely enhance them, roll them across your whole enterprise. I've been at this for about 20 years, and I know it will take everyone else 4 or 5 years to build this. We're rolling it out. Our customer base is large, and we have, usually we have to go out and find people. Now we have customers, especially in the U.S., just calling us every day.
You said the demand is huge.
Yeah.
Can you quantify it in some way?
Usually, we've had a number of inbound calls in a year that we usually have in a year in like a month. And then if we're at a conference, if you go next door, there are customers showing potential customers how to use our product.
It's in a demo sense.
Well, it's on real data. It's things that they've done. So right now, the whole world is hungry for something that it understands as AI, which is really AI or large language models. We actually have customers using our products, showing other customers how to do it. I mean, this is like you release a song and everyone else playing it. It's like, okay, great, we're very happy. And the thing is, the U.S. market is just hungry for innovation. It's hungry for things. It's now beginning. Beginning to understand it needs, like an ability to map an LLM onto your enterprise securely, ability to enhance the output of a large language model, and what's the output? Better margins, better safety. You can change your enterprise in weeks.
I just want to jump in and ask a very basic question. AIP.
Yeah.
Is it built on GPT-4? Or a different foundational model? What is the underlying tech?
We are completely agnostic to whatever large language model you want to use. Large language models have certain attributes, like they can give you reasoning, but you can't import that reasoning into your enterprise. What AIP does is allow you to take the benefits of the large language model, enhance them with algorithms that we help you build, and roll it securely across your whole enterprise. And what does that mean? It means you get all the benefits of a large language model in your enterprise today. Not in 5 years, not something that writes poetry. We're not offering people poetry writing in their enterprise. We're offering things that are so powerful that in reality, I'm not sure we should even sell this to some of our clients.
We shouldn't even sell this.
Well, who are those clients? Proportionately, when you think about demand, how much is coming from the defense use case, since you kind of gave more flesh to the AI bones during that earnings call?
Look, what's driving our demand for our product in defense is simply what people have seen on the battlefield. And that's very sensitive and very classified. But the demand for that is...
Did you hear what he just said? He said he doesn't even know if he should sell Palantir. to certain people because it's that powerful of a company. Like, that's how much it could advance your company, that it could make you dangerous. And it looks like he's about to hop off that chair and backhand that dude. I don't know why he looks so tense, why he's looking so tense. Maybe he hasn't slept in a while. But, you know, this is crazy. You never hear a CEO come out and say, you know, my product's so good, I don't think I should sell it to anybody else.
It's going to get larger. Why is it going to get larger? Because America is the best at software. Software that's built in a product is in high demand in defense. Why is it also in demand? Because until 2 years ago, everyone thought this was a joke. We were building systems over the last 5 years that are deadly. Those deadly systems have changed the course of history. It's no longer madman saying this. You see it on the battlefield. In U.S. commercial industry is the most adaptive in the world, and they are hungry. Our clients are hungry for things that will give them a disproportionate advantage on margins, on safety, on secure use of LLMs, on making sure this is not just some poetry recreating what somebody said, but actually can create actual tangible difference. And we are rolling it out, and we're very happy.
For our global Bloomberg television and radio audiences, we are at AIPCon. We're joined by the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp. During that earnings call, you said, "We have no pricing strategy. We're going to create a lot of value. We're going to get hundreds of customers, and we will price it as we go." Have you made any progress on pricing strategy since then?
No. Why? Okay,
Why so relaxed about it?
Because it's like one of these things. Like when you go to a bar, you know everyone wants to meet you. Do you have a pricing strategy when you go to the bar? No. You're like, oh, I'm cool. I know we have the best product on the market. I know customers will pay us fairly. I know that it's much more valuable than anyone will understand until they install it, and we will sort it out. To make it like slightly academic, I believe in Pareto optimization. We are going to create a lot of value, and we're going to get some portion of that value. And customers are smart; they'll pay you some portion of the value. Why should just as an axiomatic thing? If you have a software product, you always want to get paid after you deliver value. If you've got a PowerPoint, something that doesn't work, something that's not valuable, you want to get paid before you create value. We know it's valuable. We know it's much more valuable than people understand. We know we're going to continue to augment that value, and we're going to get paid along the way.
Well, the counter consideration is how much you invest in the product.
But we've already invested billions in building these things in various components over the last 20 years, and we have the IP, and we're basically sewing it together and adding things on top of it. And so we know we have the IP. We're certain of the value. Why would we? So again, I come to you. I'm like, hey, I'm certain this is very valuable. Pay me $10 million. What are you going to say?
Well, I don't have $10 million. But if I were a customer.
Well, okay. Give me your British charm.
You can't
listen,
your British charm.
My British charm, if I were a customer, would say this is a really hard environment. If I think about cloud,
exactly.
Customers are looking for value, but the lowest price.
So now, if you believe you have the best product in the world, what are you going to say? Okay, great. Let's not even have that discussion. I'll create the value. You tell me how much value it create. By the way, if you don't want to pay me, then I'll go to someone else who will. You can have different margins than the person will pay me. You can have a different safety profile than people. You can have a different ability to control your whole business from your laptop than someone else because the person who valued it paid me. You don't want to pay me? Great.
Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir Technologies. This morning, the Bear Cave, a Substack-based newsletter, put out a negative report.
Let
me just read one of the claims. The Bear Cave believes Palantir is an AI imposter engaging in spurious games to inflate its books and obfuscate its less sexy role as an overhyped data consultant. What is your response to that?
The Bear Cave is a bear cave. They can stay in the Bear Cave. We're a profitable software company. Those are interesting critiques of us, and we have the best products in the market, and that's why they're profitable, and we will win.
Wanted to give you the right response. That was all. The core of Palantir's pitch, right, is that you have this experience in managing sensitive, classified data networks or closed networks. How does that work in the training of the LLMs that are going into AIP? Is it difficult when you have that kind of restriction on the data source?
It's a very important technical question. To use LLMs at scale in a classified and sensitive environment, you have to have something like a data model that trains the data model and something like branching and access control. Those products take decades to build. We have them. But if you have those products, you can segment in real time what
they're already built?
They're already built. They're already part of all of our core five. They're part of PG. They're part of Foundry. We roll them out to our current customers. Many of our customers have not needed to use these. They now need to use them. Why do they need to use them? Because if you in any environment, you're going to have records. You're going to have data and insights you're not going to share with the large language model. You're going to have data and insights you do want to share, and you're going to have a hybrid. And that requires a segmenting, branching architecture. And one of the things we built over the last 10 years randomly because we thought it would be valuable someday was that.
For our Bloomberg radio and television audiences worldwide, we are with Dr. Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir. An interesting case study is Ukraine. You've deepened your relationship and activity with Ukraine using AI in one case to help with reconstruction.
Yeah.
How else? Explain how it works.
By the way, my real answer to the short people is ask the Russians.
What do you mean by that?
It's like, we can't say, ask the Ukrainians, ask people who are in the battlefield, ask people who have been subject to...
You're talking about the effectiveness
of our product.
Okay.
So it's like, there's very little we can say. You can read what
Did you just hear that? He said, ask the Russians. If you want to, so what he's saying is if you want to know anything about what's going on with Palantir, you ask the people he sent into war at, like, what? Like, this is crazy. I never even seen this before.
They're saying they use targeting, according to reports, has gone up, given the use of AI by products, potentially ours, from like by 20 to 50x. These products have changed the course of history, and they will continue to change the course of history, and I'm super proud of that.
Do we already have, in the military use case, an arms race between powers like the US, Russia, China, specifically in the field of artificial intelligence?
Yes, and we have an advantage. And if we don't get out of our own way, we might actually continue to
When
win.
you say we get out of our own way, what do you mean by that?
Well, America has the best software companies in the world. The software companies largely come from a sliver of America. They produce products. We need to get to a point where 1% of our spend on defense goes to products that have been proven on the battlefield, not PowerPoints. And so, like, in the large language model and the generalizable AI, we are far ahead. Call it a year or two. But we must actually implement. And there's a huge debate. Part of the debate, of course, is these things are very dangerous. If we didn't have vicious adversaries, we should slow it down, but we do. But we also have lots of people who don't want to roll this out because they have nothing to roll out. And so there's like the debate machine about rolling this out is partly for legitimate reasons because this could be dangerous, partly for security reasons you brought up, but there are architectures that will allow you to deal with this as a product like Palantir and hopefully someday others. But there's also the debate machine because there are only 3 or 4 companies in the world with anything to sell. And everyone else wants to debate, why should we do this? How should we do this? Can we play catch up? Can we talk about this in 5 years? That really plays into our adversaries' hands, and we really have to avoid that.
The long-term concern that came up 24 hours ago or 48 hours ago is an existential threat from AI. You talk at Palantir about bending AI to a collective will.
Well,
do you share the concern, though, about an extinction-level event?
There's a lot going on there. Are these things dangerous? Could they become potentially dangerous? Could they become... Yes. But what these debates ignore is either we will wield them or our adversaries will wield them. It is much better if we wield the technology than our adversaries who do not respect our norms, do not respect the rule of law, and do not respect the way we want to live in freedom. So that's point one. Point two, in the near term, what Palantir will allow you to do is make these things really, really valuable commercially and in the military context. And in commercial context, you have to do it because if you don't buy our product, your competition will. In the military context, we have to do it because our adversaries will build those products.
Right. You talked about the competitive landscape. I actually wanted to ask you about C3 AI as an example, because you come up in bidding processes with them.
Actually, this is a massive market. We actually don't come up with bidding processes with anyone. And I'll tell you what I think about everyone.
So you don't have any competition?
Let me just tell you about this competition thing that Wall Street analysts love. It's complete BS. This is an infinite market, basically. Try what we're doing and try what everyone else is doing, and buy the thing that creates the most value.
On an infinite market, Bloomberg Intelligence put out this research report this morning that says generative AI as a market will be 1.3 trillion in 2032. That requires compound annual growth of about 40% a year from this point over a decade. Do you see that as realistic?
Well, what I see, I don't know.
Based on the markets you operate in.
Look, these experts just make stuff up. But what we know is this is a large, basically impossible to measure market. And what we also know is everybody in the U.S. is going to find ways to become more efficient and better using software. And a lot of that software is going to be AI driven. We also know that the market over time, not in a quarter, will end up picking the best products. That's what we know.
In the United Kingdom, my home country, the FT is reporting that within the NHS, as a case study, there is some concern about deepening the data relationship.
He's like a fidget or a spinner or something.
What would be your answer to those concerns?
Look, outside of America and in the UK, there are legitimate questions that get asked. Where's the data going to go? How is it moved? Who touches it? Does it get exported to the US? Can we verify how it was used under what context? And can we make sure that the underprivileged people of the UK actually get the same treatment as the privileged people, including not just in treatment, but future treatment, which is a huge issue in the UK because there's a backlog. So how do you deal with the backlog equitably? Palantir provides the most robust, transparent software in the world, which is part of the reason we're having an AI bonanza, because to make AI work, you have to show how it works. How did the transform work? How does the branching work? How does the ontology work? How does it map to LLM? This is exactly what you have to show in a hospital context. Who worked with the patient? Under what condition? What doctor? Was the person equitably and fairly treated? What happens to backlog? By the way, we've proven we can do this as a product safely, efficiently, and under the hardest conditions in the UK. And I really hope we win that for our sake, but also for the sake of our UK employees and others that we greatly respect, and because transparency leads to the fairest, most ethical, and justified outcomes you can get.
God, every time after listening to Alex Karp, you just want to go like, I don't know. Do you get that feeling where you just want to go buy some more Palantir? I mean, God, now I'm like, it's only $50 billion. He's clearly saying he's better than Lockheed Martin. And I mean, like I said, in the medical field, they don't have that kind of reach. I mean, Palantir's also in, like, if you need to figure out where to put charging stations, like, you pretty much need Palantir for almost everything. At a 50 billion, God, it might even be a buy now. I would usually saying anywhere between, 20 to 22, depending on if I heard like an Alex Karp interview, then I might bump it up a little bit. But I mean, if you don't have any AI exposure, I mean, if I didn't have any AI exposure, I would probably be looking to buy some Palantir just to have it in my portfolio. And I think you're probably, yes, from the looks of things, you're spending quite a bit of money on it. But like I said, when these things run, they just run. I mean, you won't be able to catch it. Just the way I thought about NVIDIA is the way I could see some people thinking about Palantir. Very, very similar to a NVIDIA. The cult following of a Tesla. I mean, hopefully it just doesn't become a meme stock. I don't think Alex Karp would let that happen. I mean, he has no problem telling investors what to do and where to shove it. I mean, he's amazing. I mean, you got trash companies like C3 AI at a $30 billion valuation. So it's not really that overvalued with what you got going on. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. I already own quite a bit of Palantir, but this is just such an amazing company that just keeps on doing more and more things. I heard they were thinking about coming up with a headset. I saw that somewhere. If they came up with a headset, man, for on the battlefield, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is a great company with a great management team. I mean, they're the only flaw that I'm seeing, there is a little bit of a flaw I'm seeing. They're starting to dump shares. Management's dumping shares, but a lot of that could be scheduled. And honestly, they've probably been holding it for quite some time. I mean, this was like a $6 stock at one point. So, yeah, I'm still watching it. Definitely never going to sell this company. I even being up 140%, there's just such a bright future to it. But anyway, I was just pretty much covering Palantir since they took my last video down. And yeah, I'm definitely still a bull on Palantir and watching it. If it drops anywhere below $22, I might even add a few more shares. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably wait till earnings though, to be honest with you, because I already own a bunch. But yeah, anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.